Thank you for the introduction. My name is Sam Rose. I graduated in 2011 with Chris and was point guard growing up in both travel basketball and here at Charlie's. Chris can't be here today because he's at the University of Vermont and he is in the Bahamas, 85-degree weather, so I'm reading this speech in his words. First, I'd like to congratulate the phenomenal athletes that were inducted today. The impact you have all made on Charlie East and the athletics program is incredible, and it's an honor to be named in the same breath as you. As the youngest member of this group, it was so cool to look through record books and read news clippings that have only shed a little bit of light on how great you all must have been to have earned the distinction of being in the Hall of Fame. Congratulations. I paid closer attention to the legend of the boys basketball team and would envision my name on the boys basketball Hall of Fame banner with the Katsikas brothers, Jeremy Kaminer, Marcus Bullock, George Ranning, Leon Rose, Brian Young, and so many other great players as I was running my ace 6.46 of the day and gasping for air as Coach B was lecturing us about who knows what on a given day. It's an honor to be a part of that group now, and an even greater honor to be one of the basketball players to be inducted in this Hall of Fame. Thank you to the Hall of Fame committee for organizing this event and bringing it back from the dead just a few years ago. I think it's so important that we celebrate athletic excellence, and we all know there are so many more student athletes that deserve this recognition as well. Although DA, if you want to take my banner down to the gym, you know you've had my permission for quite some time. I'm really sorry that I can't be here today. Unfortunately, the career I've chosen, which has a lot of great parts to it, doesn't leave much wiggle room for personal time during the season. I wish I could be there to thank each and every member of the committee in person and congratulate the other inductees myself. More so, I hope everybody here knows that it hurts me that I can't be here to share this moment with the people that matter most to me in the world. I'd like to acknowledge the people that are here for me today and thank you for giving up some of your time and busy schedules to come to this event that I couldn't even be at myself. I'd be remiss if I didn't thank the great community we have here at Cherry Oaks. The teachers and sports staff we have in East were always incredible to work with and understanding the busy schedule and time commitment that came with being a student athlete. Furthermore, the group of parents that completed our basketball family was unimaginably supportive. The support on game days, rides to fall and summer leagues, and their hugs and words of encouragement before and after games meant so much to us all. And then we weren't doing this alone, and it was so appreciated. I would like to thank my teammates I was so fortunate to play with, other great players. Alex Salzberg, Logan Morrow, Seth Friedman, who was responsible for a lot of Chris's points, Jake Gerken, Mark Schletzel, just to name a few standouts. But there were so many more that played an integral role as well. If it weren't for the guys on the team, nothing that I did in high school would have been possible. As much as I miss playing with you guys, I miss the staff. I miss the stuff we did off the court together even more. Whether it was 8:30 FIFA games after Coach B's absurdly early 7 a.m. summer workouts when the rest of Cherry Hill was sleeping, or getting together on one of our houses the day before a game for a dinner. The memories we made off the court mean just as much as the memories we made on the court. We all knew that Coach B was feeding me the ball, and the selflessness that you guys displayed was not something that went unnoticed or unappreciated by me. I appreciate all your patience with bad shots and turnovers as I continue to grow and figure out the right ways to be. Trust me, nothing makes you cringe like when thinking about the way you used to play, quite like becoming a coach. Hopefully you guys all thought I grew as a player and won some more games as a team through it all. Cherry Hill is such an incredible community, and the basketball program at East is such a tight-knit group. I'd like to take this moment to acknowledge our teammate and friend, Cam Melody, who's no longer with us. His memory deserves to be recognized as he's a huge part of my life and our team's success. So thank you to all my teammates, including Dan. I was also fortunate to have some outstanding coaches through my 4-year career. Coach Belgrano, who helped guide me as a young player, who was overwhelmed with practices and nonetheless the game. He'd always be by my side to explain the little intricacies about Coach B and his expectations that helped me look much wiser than my years. Coach Allen came over for my senior year. You helped humble me with your knowledge of the other great players and their work ethics. It made me strive to work just as hard as them. We had endless hours of conversation and I really enjoyed learning from you. Coach Quinn was my guy. When Coach B didn't want to deal with me, he'd just send me and Coach Quinn to a side basket and we'd go to work. He helped develop my game and my understanding of what needed to be done on the court. I'm not married yet, but when I do get married, my wife has Coach Quinn to thank, as every day remind me, hey Santo, happy wife, happy life. So thank you to all of my assistants for helping me in every area imaginable through my 4 years here at East. I really can't say enough about how much Coach Mulway meant to my career. Coach, thanks for believing in me from the second you saw me play. Coaching can be very hard on you, but the best have a way of exuding confidence in their players. Coach Valori, as hard as you were on me, I always knew you were doing it because you believed I could do great things and were trying to push me to that level. There's a great quote out there that I think you embody. Nobody cares how much you know until they know how much you care. Coach, there was never a day that I didn't think you cared, and that's why I craved for learning all that you do. Today, in my career as a coach, I try to remember that for my players and show how much I care daily. People that knew me growing up as a three-sport athlete, like many of the inductees here today. However, I gave up football and baseball to focus on basketball as a freshman. Many thought that Coach Valori forced me into my decision after playing varsity as a freshman before. Here's what really happened. When Coach B found out I was not going to play baseball in the spring, he told me he was going to pick me up at 6:30 or some absurdly early time for an out-of-season out. Not knowing where we were going or what could possibly be doing, you can imagine how nervous I was. What could Coach B have in store for me? I was ready for anything. Meanwhile, we went out to breakfast. Afterwards, we went to St. Augustine to watch his son JC coach at the cross scrimmage. I'm sure everybody here is familiar, but St. Augustine is not just around the corner from Cherry Hill. For the entire breakfast, the 45-minute drive to St. Augustine, most of the lacrosse scrimmage, and the entire 45-minute drive home, Coach B was lecturing me and trying to talk me out of picking up other sports. After reassuring him that I was committed to my decision, his message was clear. If you're going to put all your eggs in one basket, make that basket overflow. Give the sport everything you have. I went home and will never forget how I felt. I wasn't second guessing my decision. I wasn't upset with Coach for taking me on the pilgrimage to St. Augustine. I was motivated and inspired to become the best basketball player I could. I remember going upstairs to get changed and immediately going outside to shoot. This is just one small example of the hundreds of ways that Coach inspired me to become as good of a basketball player as I could. To my family, I'm glad that Sam is delivering the speech so I don't have to worry about getting emotional. My sister Jordan was a senior my freshman year. There was never anything she left me out of, and was at every game she could be at. Even when she went away to school at Delaware, she frequently takes her rides back to New Jersey so she could come to watch me play. My grandparents must be the most committed grandparents I've ever heard of. They were at everything they could be, and sometimes, most times, with a camera in hand to capture them. My mom and dad can't be thanked enough. My mom came up with her own little motivational talk to pump me up and get me ready to play. I remember she came up with 3 C's: competitiveness, composure, and court vision. Basically, my own mom knew I hated to pass. Although I had another C for her little sayings for me, I knew her level of support for me was unrivaled. She was there for me during the early morning workouts, the late nights, and every hour in between. Thank you, Mom. If you had the pleasure of meeting my dad at the game, or really ever, it's more than likely you met him wearing a suit. That was because you were always the hardest working dad out there. You always have to go back to work after the game, but luckily had the flexibility that you never missed a trick. I'm not sure if this was a subconscious thought at the time, but I always wanted to be as hardworking on the court as I thought you were in real life. I pride myself on never relying on my talent and outworking everybody else. That definitely stemmed from you. I could always count on you to be in the stands and giving me a little nod to center me and refocus the next play. Even sometimes when we didn't make eye contact, I knew you were there for me. Mostly because you were yelling at me for fouling or the ref for calling. But that's neither here nor there. I have the best parents in the world, and 11 years later, you guys continue to be the most supportive people in the world. Thank you from the bottom of my heart and Sam's heart, too. I'm truly honored to be a part of this prestigious group of student athletes. And I really wish I could have been here to celebrate this accomplishment with you all. Thank you to everybody I may have missed as well. And as we all know, it takes a team to win.